moments will be lost in time. Like tears in
start with a little update about Billy. So luckily, we were able to bring him back to life briefly. Since Billy and I live in Canada and have universal health care, I was able to get some of that green glowing reanimated juice stuff, right? But because his body was destroyed, we had to kill our friend Tim and put Billy's brain in Tim's body. So we tried recording an episode with reanimated Billy, but then halfway through he looked at himself in a mirror and was so horrified he threw himself off the balcony. So he pancaked himself again, which is unfortunate. So we're kind of back to square one with Billy, so we're just going to keep doing snack-sized ones until we figure something out.
Yay!
So that's a little Billy update. So, the movie that I've chosen, was 2014 Spring.
Also, welcome to Film Runners.
No, we don't do that anymore. In observance, it's like some religious observance thing where we don't actually say the name.
Oh, that's depressing. Right. But yeah, you picked the movie.
And I'm wearing a black grieving armband, one of those that they used to wear all the time. Not all the time. I guess just when people die.
Okay.
Yeah, it's spring. Well, it isn't. It's fall. But the film is spring. It's directed by Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead. And you had not seen it before, correct?
I have not seen this. I thought you actually were picking Virgin Spring, and I'm like, that's not a horror movie. But I was surprised.
Okay, good. So the basic gist of the plot is a young man named Evan whose mother dies, decides it's a good time to take a break and go on vacation. So he, to get away from it all, right? So he does that, and he ends up in Italy, where he falls for a local girl who has a bit of a secret. But a lot of it's sort of like it's very much like an indie romance kind of movie. Like an indie romantic drama is what its aesthetic is like.
Yeah.
For the most part.
I agree.
Yeah. So what did you think of it?
Oh man. Okay, so initially I was like, why am I watching this? Because it was just very slow at first. I'm just like, something's gonna happen where it's just gonna smack me in the face, and then something did happen where it just smacked me in the face. But initially it was really slow, but then it reminded me like a cross between what's that Anton Yelchin movie?
Like Crazy?
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of Like Crazy mixed with Species.
Yeah, that's good.
Because like the love aspect is Like Crazy, and then everything else is like Species. But yeah, I still have a lot of confusion about this movie, and it's mainly due to the time, like the time that they were together, the time that he left, and then also everything about her in general. Right. But other than that, it was a movie. It was a movie that I enjoyed.
Good. Yeah. I would agree. I think that it does take a little while to get into it, which I think is like purposeful, right? Because it's almost like a surprise horror movie.
Yeah.
Because like up until well into the film, it's played pretty straightforward, like as if it would be just a romantic film.
Yeah.
Or something like that. But I think your description of it nailed it. I would say it's kind of like Before Sunrise meets Species.
Oh,
like
yeah.
It's very, yeah, any sort of like indie film about like a relationship is what you're getting. But I mean, also it looks fantastic because it's like shot on location, right?
Oh yeah, it's beautiful. That's like one thing that I liked about it too. I'm just like, oh, every shot in this is like, it's actually gorgeous. But then I'm just like, everything about the story, I'm just like, I'm very fucking confused.
Yeah. But yeah, I agree. It kind of takes a little bit to get into it, and like it is almost, it's like, it's not super short. It's 109 minutes, so it's like almost 2 hours. So you probably could cut like 10-15 minutes out of it and like still have a very effective movie.
See, here's the thing that I feel like you could probably cut like 40 minutes of this film out and it'll still have the same message. Like everything after the, what was it? Like I guess before you see like her kind of not really change yet, but like kind of just in the street, just like a weird Silent Hill monster. I think from there up, you could probably cut most of that out. Like
from there to the end, or from there to the beginning.
From there to the beginning.
Right.
Because like the stuff with his friends, it's like, why do you need that? I know that like establishes some stuff that like he needs to be like, oh, I need to get the fuck out of here because like my mom died and then my friends are assholes and then I lost my job and then like I was just like, when were you ever like, I kind of wish we saw him like cooking and being a chef. I kind of wish we saw him like actually having his life before his mom died a little bit, or like at least a little bit after his mom died, so like we could see that transition into just the fuck it, I'm out of here. Like,
wouldn't that add more time onto the film if they showed us more?
I mean, but take out like the gangster guy, and I think you can replace that with the gangster guy, because the gangster guy really didn't have any meaning to be there.
I agree. The bar fight part like was like an added thing that was unnecessary. Like it was good enough to when you find out that Evan's like dad died of a heart attack and then his mom had cancer and he had to like take care of her while she slowly died. That's enough for me, for his friend to be like, dude, you should take a vacation, and him to be like, yeah, okay. He didn't need to be like fleeing the town too, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and also that hand wound would have healed like not in the matter of time where he still had it on screen. That really bothered me. I don't know why. I was just like, why is your hand still bandaged?
Yeah, maybe he's just being, making sure, being extra careful with it.
No, he was trying to play that up for sympathy so he can get boned. That's fine, though.
For sympathy? Who cares? He has a bandage wrapped around his palm, like anyone gives a shit. Like, it's not like he's in a wheelchair or something. Like, oh, I've been in such a great accident.
Can you imagine him like wheeling around like Italy, and then this girl just sees him and is like, man, just give that guy a pity fuck. Love him.
It would be worth a shot for him to try.
No, it would not. That's half the movie rewritten.
So yeah, I mean, I agree they could shorten up the. Yeah, they could have tightened it up. But I do like this sort of meandering aspect. Like once he actually gets to Europe, and like when he meets up with those two British guys or whatever.
I love them.
They were very funny.
They reminded me of you and Aaron a lot.
Oh, because they were idiots?
Yeah, it's just two chuckle fucks.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But like some of the slow, like like the slow motion walking, it's like that stuff could have been cut out. And that never happens like an hour like after like that happens. Like after he actually sees her, none of that slow motion stuff happens again, I don't think. So I'm just like, why is everything here? You could have just fast paced this and being like, oh, he saw her, still speed it up a little bit, my guy. Like it felt like it was, the slow motion was out of place.
Right. Well, I guess I disagree because I didn't really notice it that much. Like I don't really know what you're talking about.
You don't know what like when he first sees Louise, and then like all three of them are like walking through the village very slowly, and then like he sees her, she leaves, He turns around very slowly, looks back at her, turns way around again, and then like literally does like a 180 and then goes back to his friends. And it was just in slow motion. Or I felt it was in slow motion.
It may have been, but I still find it hard to believe the part you just mentioned took longer than maybe 10 seconds.
It seriously did. I'm not even joking.
I don't know.
I'm gonna make you watch it after we're done here because it's gonna bother me.
Okay. Because it definitely isn't standing up to me as something that was like weird or anything. So then once they hook up or whatever, we find out that her secret is that they don't reveal it right away. They kind of keep it a little close to the vest. Like the middle section is us, the audience, knowing something is wrong with her and she's like transforming into a thing. Mm-hmm. While Evan doesn't know and while Louise is like trying to hide it from him. Mm-hmm. So what did you think when that stuff first started to happen? Like you mentioned, the first time we sort of see something's wrong is after they sleep together.
Yeah. She
acts like strange, and then she gets out of bed and leaves, and then we get a long shot of her freaking out eerily and then eating a cat, a cat's head or something.
I like that they clean up their streets of like dead things.
It is funny. I laughed when it showed the next morning and Evan walks by and there's like just two Italian guys cleaning up a cat's corpse. And they're like, one of them has like a bucket and one has a broom and they're just like, oh, and it's like, these are just these guys' jobs to clean up like carcasses.
And then they missed the bag entirely and then it landed back on the ground. I'm like, no, guys.
Yeah, they seem really bad at their jobs. So what was your reaction when it first like happened?
I forgot the moment where like, was it the moment where like she's actually, I think it was the moment where she was like actually transforming, like you actually know that it was her doing it, and I was just like, what the fuck, because like it was such a like hard left turn in the film that I actually really appreciated because everything else obviously was slow, but then I'm just like, oh yes, oh things are happening, and then her transformation was really cool. Like I didn't expect. Here's the thing too, there's like 4 or 5 different transformations of what she is in this film, and I think that's also confusing, but it also looks very cool. Like she turns into like a werebear in the shower, and then like she turns into like a werewolf at a time, and then she turns into like a hollow husk at one point, and then like she's like turning into a lizard woman at another point. So I'm like, and then a squid woman again.
Yeah,
so
I think the concept is that she's transforming into different aspects of us on an evolutionary chain. So like
we were lizard people?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we were sea creatures and stuff too, you know what I mean?
I respect being a sea creature. Like I don't respect lizard people.
Well, that's fair. No one's asking you to respect them. Yeah, so it is. I mean, that is a kind of confusing, but also like visually very crazy and cool aspect. Is that like she's transforming into a lot of different shit, right?
Yeah.
Because at first she's almost like you said, wolf-ish, but like a weird skinny wolf. Like it's creepy when you see her body's all like too stretched out or something. Yeah. But then she gets a bunch of different versions, and one of the most horrifying ones is when Evan finally sees her and she's like laying on the floor and she's like half squid, half.
That wasn't kind towards her.
But he had the perfect reaction. He got her medicine and injected her with it, even though she was part squid person.
That's true love. You inject whoever you need to when they turn into a squid. Like, I don't understand. I feel like I just don't understand the science with her. Like, I get, like, how she explained it.
Yeah.
But at the same exact time, I'm like, that that sounds wrong, but I am
Well,
suspending all of my disbelief.
I was going to say, here's the thing, Insha. It is wrong. There's no such creature as her who lives thousands of years, and every 20 years she, like, creates a new version of herself. That's not a thing that exists. So you're right. You're right to believe that it sounds wrong. Because it is. However, within the movie itself, they did, I guess credit to them for trying to make it, because one of the running themes is just that stuff that seems magical or like fantastical is just undiscovered science, basically, right? Mm-hmm. So she herself, like, she's human, quote unquote, but she's some like mutation of a human who uses basically like stem cells and shit to like extend her life and refresh her genetics, I guess. Right?
Sure.
Yeah, which like you said, I mean, that's not real. It isn't a thing that exists. But I mean, as far as like an explanation for why she could be thousands of years old and what she is, that's like I think it passes the test where I can just be like, oh, okay. Fine.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. So what was it that you said you had a question about the science of it or whatever?
I feel like I just have a question about like her I think I don't know how to properly say it, because it's like her being like, I don't choose this, my body chooses this, and then keeping that going, but then it's just like, I don't understand how you don't choose it but your body chooses it. But because I get that, because like your body, you don't choose to get sick, your body chooses to get sick. I understand that part, but at the same exact time, you choose to fall in love with a person, but so that means that she chose him.
Yeah, but I mean, I think she was saying that because it is odd. They also mention that like one of the points or one of the plot points is that love actually has like a chemical reaction in people.
Yeah, like when she was like explaining like the oxytocin, and I'm just like, I have never ever heard of that. Even if that is like science that I've actually read in a book, I'm just like, I don't think that makes me fall in love with people. I think it's my brain and what? My brain and my heart, maybe? I don't know.
I think it's an either or thing. Like, I think what she was saying is that, like, she meant she couldn't guarantee it because she had spent literally thousands of years not falling in love, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I don't think she really understood whether she did or not, so she didn't want to like guarantee that she could do it.
Okay.
Right? Because she couldn't choose to. So basically it's she got knocked up on purpose so that she could use her fetus's stem cells to then like recreate herself and keep herself young for another 20 years.
Weird.
So weird. But she's saying it's possible that she can choose not to do that, to use her adult cells or something, and it would basically make her immortal.
See, but that's like that. I think that's the thing that I'm confused about, because it's just like it's like she's saying that like both her body chooses for her, and then also she can choose. And I'm just like, both of these things are kind of the same thing. So I don't understand.
They are, yeah.
Like why she made it such a different thing, you know?
I think it was her like hedging her bets. Like I think it was a her issue rather than an issue with the science of it, because it's like she chose to spend all this time with Evan. She was the one who liked Evan, and she was the one who ultimately fell in love with Evan. Mm-hmm. But she just couldn't guarantee that her body would agree, even though that makes no sense because she is her body, right? So it doesn't make any sense. But I think she was just sort of like wary of it happening because it literally had never happened before.
Okay.
You know? And I think the ultimate thing that did it was when Evan, because she was like, so when she wanted to break up with him because she got what she needed from him, but he said and then she had to do the transformation for the next 20 years. So he said he wanted to spend her last 24 hours with her, which they do. And then when she's about to do the thing, whatever genetic thing happens, she says he should go because she might turn into something weird during the transformation and like kill him or hurt him or whatever, because she's already killed a fucking rude ass American earlier in the movie. He very much deserved it. But he says no, he wants to stay with her during it, and I think that was sort of the final thing that like made her not transform into it, made her fall in love, I guess.
He saw you turn into a squid person. You should have already been in love.
I mean,
Just
that's
saying.
I think, but I think the point was that she just didn't know, you know, because like you can be in love with somebody and be like lying to yourself, right? Like,
That's very true. Yeah.
yeah. So I think it was more like that. Like she was scared to be or worried about being, because also it meant that she'd be giving up immortality, right? And she had said earlier in the movie that
She doesn't
she
want to do
wouldn't
that.
give that up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, he does not have the same backstory as Batman.
No, no, he doesn't. But I don't know how well. I mean, I guess it would be like,
His parents
For-
literally got shot in an alley, and his mother died of cancer. It's not the same thing.
yeah, but for someone her age, I mean, I think that's close. Because, like, Batman's only been around for, what, 80, 90 years? From her perspective, that's, like, nothing. So maybe she just has just the slightest idea of what a Batman even is. But yeah, that guy she kills early on, it's hilarious. He couldn't have been more of a stereotype of, like, an ugly American abroad.
Oh my god, I know.
He even says to her, I don't speak French. They're not even in France. Insane. So he definitely deserved it.
No, he way deserved it. I love, like, his opening line was just like, I have weed in my, like, room. I'm like, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, who actually cares? Like,
Yeah.
oh.
Of her victims, which have mostly been cats and bunny rabbits, he was the one who deserved it the most.
Oh, absolutely.
I felt the least bad for his death.
Did the other bunny die?
I don't know. They never really... We don't see it happen. We see her kill the one rabbit
Yeah.
to try that ritual thing, and then eat it when it doesn't work. And then we see the other bunny horrified, which is very sad. So I don't know if she let it go or what. Or ate it. Either way, because remember she said she didn't want to talk about it when he asked what happened to her.
Oh.
But, so I thought, like... And part of the reason why I didn't think it was... I guess part of the reason why I didn't think it was that slow leading up to, like, the first time we see that she's, like, some creature thing, was because I actually found the leads really good. Like, really interesting to watch on their own, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Even without that story hook. Like, Lou Taylor Pucci or whatever is, as Evan, he's very good.
He is,
and
yeah.
I hadn't seen Nadia Hilker in anything else, but I thought she was fantastic too.
Oh, I have a note that you might like. I, like, literally was just like, this girl looks like Lady Gaga if they aged her down in A Star Is Born.
That's funny. She does look like... She also looks like... what's her name? The lady in the Evil Dead TV show.
Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about. Wait,
Yeah.
it's like, it's not Lucy, but it's the other one.
Yeah,
Yes.
like the one who worked at the store with them or whatever.
Yes, now I know who you're talking about. Yeah, she kind of, yeah,
Yeah.
she does.
A little bit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, definitely she's got Lady Gaga-y looks.
There was, like, some shots of her where I'm just like, oh, make A Star Is Born, but, like, make it, like, Lady Gaga being, like, 20.
Or make A Star Is Born, but turn it into a horror movie halfway through.
It is a horror movie halfway through.
Yeah, that is true. The horrors of addiction. That
That's not
leads me
funny.
to... No, not really. But I couldn't think of a game for this, so I don't have a game. But I have, like, a question, because this is very much like taking a standard indie movie sort of type, and then also putting a horror twist on it. So if you took what type of indie movie would you add a classic horror monster to make it fresh?
Um.
I have a couple examples if you want.
Yes, please.
Okay. I thought it would be cool to do like a werewolf movie, but like Memento, where the guy was like trying to figure out what he did as a werewolf.
Oh, I like
You know
that.
what I mean? That'd be cool. Another one would be Clerks, but with like Igor and Renfield and other like horror movie henchmen, but just them minding like the castles and shit.
I can see that being like, what's that fucking movie? What's that movie? Oh no, Mel Brooks.
Clerks.
Help me.
Oh, Young Frankenstein.
Yeah, it would be literally be Young
Yeah.
Frankenstein, but just in a movie.
Yeah. And my last one would be the movie, the movie Buried with Ryan Reynolds?
Yes.
Where it's just entirely a shot of him in a coffin?
Yes.
Yeah, that, but with the Invisible Man. So it's just a shot of an empty coffin for like 90 minutes. I thought that would be very funny.
That's so good. Oh no.
Yeah, I should have told you ahead of time that was my idea.
I really don't know.
No.
Fuck. I could see Dracula and Blue Valentine,
Oh, that would be good.
right?
I mean, that's kind of a similar, like... Yeah, you could do... It would almost be like an adult version of... or like an adult relationship version of like a Twilight or something, you know what I mean? Like an abusive relationship, but it's between a vampire and a human, but like not a teeny show kind of thing.
Yeah. It's like they're kind of
Yeah.
going backwards into like when the girl fell in love with Dracula, and then also going forward for him to decide not to kill her or not when they get divorced.
Horrifying. You could make one that's like really, really sad if it was like, if you even started it in like the same ages as like Twilight people, you know what I mean? And then it keeps flashing back and forward to her being like in her 50s or 60s, and he still looks the exact same, and he's like not into her anymore. That would be fucking sad as shit. Him like sniffing around other high school girls to like find his next wife. Disgusting Dracula.
Actually, yeah, that's horrible.
That is
Yikes,
horrible.
you made that a lot more than what I thought it envisioned it to be.
Well, I'm sorry. It's called pushing the boundaries.
I don't do that.
You're safe. We can't all have your fucking safe Disney movies.
I hate Disney movies.
You love Disney
I
movies. Your
actually-
favorite movie
I hate,
of all
I
time
hate Disney movies.
is
so
Song of the South. That's your favorite movie. You love Disney movies.
Oh, I wish I could actually see that at Disney World. That would be so much fun.
Yeah. Fun. That would be very fun. That's how, yeah, I describe that. It's fun. One of my favorite lines in the entire movie is when Evan calls his friend after, like, he discovers everything or whatever, and he says, quote, "I got this girl, or maybe monster, pregnant, and I don't know if she's gonna give birth to herself, or..."
No, that was the saddest phone conversation ever.
It was a sad phone call.
I feel
But-
really bad. Like, all of this, too, I feel really bad for Evan, because, like, he really does not have a great support system.
He doesn't. Evan's kind of a funny character because he's like, he is just a very like basic guy. Like he's kind of boring, but like you feel bad because his circumstances are so like he literally lost his entire family recently.
Yeah.
So he is like on his own, right?
Yeah. And
But he, I don't know. I really like the guy he stayed with. What's his name? Angelo,
oh,
the old
my
Italian
God.
man.
I have a really big question about Angelo.
What?
Was she his wife?
Here's what I thought. I thought the first time I watched it, I thought that. But watching it this time, I don't think so.
She had the same color eyes, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And, like, that one picture, I think in that one picture that he has, like, on the thing, and even the picture that he was holding, it was her color eyes. It was, like, one green and, like, one brown. Are you looking at it?
Yeah. Google it. Because maybe that's why I thought it the first time, but I must have missed it this time. Because this time, I remember thinking that, and then when I watched it this time, I was like, oh no, I think it's just to contrast, like, how important love was to him as a person, contrast to, like, her trying to fight it. Oh, wait. What clues does Spring offer that Louise was previously Angelo's wife? Okay, we're going to get into it. That's the question. The answer is filled with the wonderful bit. This is stupid. I'm not just going to read this article. The answer is never given, but there are a few clues possibly exist. Chief amongst them comes an exchange between Evan and Louise, where she tells of a story of intentionally driving off a cliff once in her past. Whenever is seen praying and I knew her clutching a photo of his life. It's seemingly been decades since her death. It doesn't mention her. The counter-argument to these clues is the photograph itself. When Evan attempts to take a picture of Louise, her face was distorted and blurry. If she was Angelo's wife, how did he obtain a clear photo of her?
Yeah, but those were painted. Shit.
Interesting. But also, this doesn't mention the eye color thing.
Like, I feel like I distinctly remember, like, when he held the photograph, like, one of the eye colors was different. And I don't know why that, like, I was like, oh no, is he, like, boning the girl that he used to bone? Because that's messy.
I want to say no. I think it's just to show, like, the cyclical nature of falling in love. Like, that it's sad that Angelo's wife is gone and he seemingly loved her, like, very much or whatever. But because it's spring... this is like new love blooming, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's literally supposed to be that, but I don't know. The eye color thing is interesting because I didn't notice it this time. But also now this gives a whole new clue because Angelo's wife died in a car accident and she does mention driving off a cliff intentionally one time.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, I guess that's for everyone to decide on their own.
Everybody, write us a note, or a Twitter, or a tweet, or a tweet twat.
Okay.
Tim, tell us what happens in this movie.
Tim maybe would like this movie. He doesn't really he gets scared by horror movies. But I think he likes this, I think. Because it's not that rough. Like, I mean, the creature effects can be pretty gross, but I mean...
Honestly, this is more like a romance to me.
It is,
than, like,
yeah,
anything.
it's absolutely that.
Like, I mean, like the whole thing is, like, obviously centered around, like, a romance and stuff, but at the same exact time, it's just, like, this feels like all the creature stuff was just secondary to what was happening, like, in their young lives. Also, what bothers me, too, is that they were together for 5 days.
Yeah, but I mean, that's a movie thing, right?
No.
Like, yeah, it is. Yes, it is. No, it isn't. You've never seen a movie where characters fall in love after only knowing each other for like an hour? Never.
That's such a short amount of time.
I know, this is what we're talking about. We're talking about the fact.
It's just such a short amount of time. Like, I just...
Yes, that's what you're complaining about.
No, I know, but like, it's just like, I don't know what it is about that amount of time. Like, even when they kept saying, like, they've only been here for 5 days. We've been together for 5 days. Like, and it's like, why do you feel this way after 5 days? Because I thought it was, like, gonna be just, like, one of those infatuation things, and then he gets killed off, and then, like, all of a sudden it was like, oh no! But, like...
But I feel like, I mean, that they mentioned that. That's one of her reasons why... She brings up the amount of time as a reason to not be with him because they have only been together. She's like, haven't you ever just like
been in like lust instead of like
in lust with, and then it fades or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like that's not an issue with the movie so much as an aspect of the plot.
No, it's just an issue. It's just an issue with me because I don't understand romance.
Yeah, that could be it. What was I going to say? Oh, do you have any recommendations?
this made me think of like, oh, there was the movie Weekend, because it literally has like a plot like this without the species type shit, but like it's just two people falling in love in like 2 days. Mm-hmm. Which makes more sense to me than what this movie.
That's insane. How does 2 days make? Here's the thing: your scale has absolutely no. So I say 1 hour. You say that's fucking ridiculous.
That is. That actually is.
You say. I don't disagree. But here's the thing: you say that's insane. That's whatever. You say 5 days. That's fucking insane too. 2 days, perfect amount of time.
Because like the people.
If so, in Weekend, if they had shown 3 more days, you would have been like, "This is ridiculous."
Probably,
this dude. Like... No, don't.
But also,
don't.
like, the people that like Weekend, they have like the weirdest, strongest amount of chemistry, and like I think, don't get me wrong, I think Louise and Evan have a really strong chemistry, especially since like he nursed her back to life, and nursed her back from a sniffle that she had, because I thought that was really cute. But then I'm just like, in Weekend, they have such like an intense chemistry on site, and then all of a sudden, like after those 2 days, they just spend wicked amount of time together, where they have their first fight, their first argument, their first breakup, their first get back together, like all in a weekend. And I was just like, oh, this hurts my heart. I need movies that hurt my heart. Like Blue Valentine, also recommended. Blue Valentine, also recommended Her, because I don't know how long that relationship lasted.
Okay.
What about you?
Fair enough. Species, like you said. And
thank you.
The other movies by Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead.
What other movies did they do?
Resolution, The Endless.
Really?
They did. Sorry?
I like that movie. Sorry.
Yeah. They did the Bone Storm segment in VHS Viral.
Oh.
But the kids with the skateboards and the cult things or whatever. And they have a movie coming out called Synchronic with Anthony Mackie and Jamie Dornan, I think. Yeah. So I don't know if that's good or not, but I want to see it. Because I like every other movie that they do. Do you have any other notes?
I read somewhere that this was like inspired by Queen of the Damned, and I don't see it.
The book or the movie?
I don't know. It just says on like IMDb, Queen of the Damned was an inspiration for this movie, and I'm like, where?
What is... Well, that doesn't sound right. But I've never read the book Queen of the Damned. I've seen the awful, terrible movie.
It's not awful.
Oh, yeah, it is, though.
No, it's not.
I mean, it's really bad. What are you talking about?
It's not bad.
It is.
It's not bad at all.
It's very bad.
It's not bad. Aaliyah was good, at least.
I won't speak ill. But, I mean, it stars Stuart Townsend, who pretty much sucks in everything.
Oh, no, he's terrible.
Yeah, and he's, like, the lead.
Well, see, we were talking about Aaliyah before, so I think we should just stick to how that was good.
Alright. It's still a bad movie. So what's your next pick? And it better not be Queen of the Damned.
I think it should be now. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Wait.
I can tell you what you had suggested a while ago.
Oh, were we doing Midsummer? I thought that was going to be our last one. But I don't.
Well, we're only doing 4.
But I don't know why.
I don't know.
Wait, what was my suggestion though?
That was it. You wanted the Midsummer director's
Okay, good, because I just really...
But if you don't want to do that, pick something else.
No, I really want to just talk about Midsummer.
Okay, then we could do that next. Okay, cool.
Yay! Billy's still dead.
All right.
Sorry.
Billy's still dead.